DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
Hi folks, Dr. Dan from DocTalk here. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to talk about synchronizing and AI in cows and heifers with Dr. Bob Larson from Kansas State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. We're glad you joined us. It's a great time of year. Thanks for watching DocTalk, and I hope that you enjoy this show.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America. A place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
This segment brought to you by the new Hired Hand Portable Cow Sprayer. For more information, visit cowsprayer.com. Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Bob Larson. Welcome to the show.
Good to be here, Dan.
Dr. Larson is a professor of clinical sciences here at Kansas State University, where he serves as the Coleman Chair of Production Medicine, and he teaches numerous classes here, and you've got an extension role, you've got a research role, you've got a teaching role. You spend a lot of time with our producers, but this is one of those topics you've spent a lot of time on.
Yes, I think that the technology of AI has been around for a long time, but how to utilize it in ranching situations is still somewhat of a challenge, but a great opportunity.
Absolutely. And folks, Dr. Larson is one of those people that not only can get down to the nitty-gritty on the scientific level, but he's been in private practice and understands what goes on in a cow herd, and so let's just get rolling into this, the synchronization and AI. You know, why not just kick the bulls out in the pasture?
You know, there's a lot of times where kicking the bulls out is by far the easiest. Bulls are not inexpensive, so even that process of selecting and using those bulls well takes some good management to really optimize that. But the great thing about AI is the ability to use bulls that have many offspring, and when you have a bull that's had so many offspring, you really know how he's going to perform. We call that a proven bull. So it's a bull that we know what we're going to get, and by purchasing semen, you can get the traits that you're really looking for your herd. You know, if you need more growth, more carcass traits, more of the reproduction traits, you can really find those bulls that you're really confident that because he's had so many offspring already, that's what you're going to get when you breed to those cows. So one of the big advantages to using AI sires is that knowledge of that superior genetics that you're going to get.
And when you're just starting out, or you know, even from the beginner herd to the advanced herd, you know, there are different advantages to it.
Exactly. You know, I've helped you know, some herds that are basically, you know, 4-H FFA type projects, so really small groups up to, you know, herds of several hundred to 1,000 cows, and trying to figure out how to make AI work in those different situations.
So, and it really is a way to change your genetics quickly.
It really is, because you know, usually when we're buying natural service bulls, we're buying what they potentially could do, and you know, we use EPDs to make sure that we're buying the bulls that really fit our needs, but you don't really know how they're going to perform until you've got calves on the ground, and so you get to take a shortcut with AI.
Okay, so other reasons on why to do it.
You know, when we work with herds that synchronize, especially if the herd is you know, fertile and they have a lot of cows calve early in the calving season, when you add a synchronization protocol, you can actually move the average calving date up a few days. Now, I don't want to oversell that.
Right.
You can't change. You can't shove Mother Nature. All you can do is nudge her a little bit. And so we're talking about moving the average calving date up a few days, but these calves are going to be gaining more than a couple of pounds a day. And at the prices we're seeing right now, if you move the herd up even 5 days, that starts to be 5 days times 2 pounds a day times 200 or 250 pound. You're talking about some dollars that are worth
$25.
That are kind of invisible money just by having those calves a little bit earlier. So you get the advantage of the increased genetics, as well as the opportunity at least to really kind of move that calving season earlier.
Perfect. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more with Dr. Bob Larson on AI and synchronization of your cow herd.
This Meet the Future Veterinarian is brought to you by Zuprevo. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment.
Brendan Martin was raised on a beef cattle, poultry, and crop farm in Virginia. During college, he worked and interned in the cattle industry while raising his own Angus herd. As a result, he became interested in bovine reproduction and the power of genetic progress within a cattle herd. After graduation, Brendan started Valley Herd Health in Virginia, working mainly with beef and dairy cattle.
Some call it a come-from-behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal of fortune, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zuprevo. Zuprevo is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health.
Do your cattle struggle with pink eye, BRD, or another disease? Contact Newport Laboratories for a customized solution. Our custom-made vaccines are produced using the specific diseases found in your area. These USDA licensed vaccines offer potential cost savings on vaccine and labor. Contact your veterinarian or Newport Laboratories the next time your cattle are in need of a custom solution. Newport Laboratories custom-made vaccine, because every situation is different.
This segment brought to you by the new Hired Hand Portable Cow Sprayer. For more information, visit cowsprayer.com.
Folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Bob Larson, who is the Coleman Chair of Production Medicine at Kansas State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. And Bob, you're a regular on the show. A lot of people are starting to familiarize you with the show. It's great. It's great for K-State. It's great for the beef industry. And we really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show and sharing it with our viewers around the world. But as we were talking during the break, we're going to jump into one of the things we talked about the why, and that's the genetics and the shortening or moving up the calving date. But let's talk about who our candidates are and why we're picking those animals.
Right. In most situations that I've dealt with, most herds, the heifers are probably the easiest group to start with a synchronization and AI program. And a couple of reasons that are real obvious is those heifers don't have a suckling calf on them. And when you start talking about a synchronization program where you have to run cattle through a squeeze chute and sort them off, when I'm dealing with my adult cows, I'm having to sort off the calves and work with them in that way. So a lot of times, if you've never done this before, the easiest group to start with is the heifers. And they're really a good group to do that with because a lot of times we manage them separately. They may be in a dry lot or a grass trap where it's a little bit easier to handle them. They're nearer our facilities many times. And the other thing is, I recommend that we kind of breed those heifers a little bit earlier than the rest of the cows. And again, especially for spring calving herds, just the way the calendar works, we can get those heifers bred really before grass turnout time. Whereas again, with my cows, it's a little bit later, and we've got a few other problems. So oftentimes, if someone's never utilized synchronization and AI, I think those heifers are a great place to start.
Well, and we're also, when you're talking about moving that calving date up a little bit, when we're trying to focus on helping those heifers have their first calf on the other end of it, and some of the maybe the colostrum isn't as potent as the cow's colostrum, and so there's some other advantages of pushing those heifers up a little bit sooner.
You bet. We really like it when the calves born out of heifers are born very early in the calving season. They get a chance to get started real well before the rest of the calves come along, and that way they tend to stay healthier, and we have less problems with them.
Yeah, cleaner environment. You're not contaminated by the other calves and things of that nature. So a lot of advantages to those. So if we're going to pick the cows, what are some of the things on cows?
And again, I've worked with ranches that have just a few cows up to a lot of cows, and it's really all about how to make that work in their system. So, and that comes to when you design the synchronization protocol and exactly how you do this. But basically, to make this work, you do have to have some facilities. Because for any of the synchronization protocols that we're going to use, the cows are going to be run through the squeeze chute, at least a couple of times, and you have to be able to do that smoothly and efficiently. You need to be able to sort off the calves, and so a lot of it is really facilities. So before we talk about, when I work with a herd and they want to implement AI in their cows, it's really looking at their pasture situation, their facilities. Are they set up close? Are the handling facilities close to where we can do this and actually make it happen?
Cool. So start with the heifers, look at your facilities if you're going to work with cows. More with Bob Larson on how to AI and synchronize cows when we return from the break.
The BQA Tip of the Day, sponsored by Beringer Engelheim Vetmedica, Inc.
Hello, this is Shane Terrell with Production Animal Consultation here with the BQA Tip of the Day. Today we'd like to talk about arrival procedures on newly arrived calves. This is a set of new cattle that just arrived this morning. It's really important that we have adequate feed, some roughage in the bunk, so when they arrive in that pen they have feed in the bunk, they have a clean and easily accessible water source, enough space to lie down if desired, a clean space to lie down, and adequate bunk space so all those animals can get to the bunk all at the same time. Also, we'd like to look for how many cattle after arrival for a couple hours are standing, lying down, or resting. We're resting where they're tucking their head underneath themselves to identify pens which need more acclimation and more work in those pens.
Say this is a calf that's been run through the chute a few too many times. Going through the chute stresses cattle, causing them not to eat like they should. Luckily, Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ provides proven protection against key respiratory diseases in a single shot, with just one trip through the chute. Talk to your veterinarian about Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ, and soon your calves will relax and eat like a whole different animal.
It takes vision, dedication, hard work. It takes knowing who you can trust. At Zinpro Corporation, we have more industry-endorsed research behind our trace minerals than any other company. Proof that our patented performance minerals help improve overall animal health and performance. Lots of companies make claims. At Zinpro, we generate results.
If my calves start healthy and stay healthy, I've got a good shot at making money. That is why I trust Clostrix. It gives my calves the protection they need until their own immune systems kick in.
Calf raisers trust Colostrix colostrum supplements. Colostrix is USDA licensed and proven effective. When your money is on the line, trust Colostrix.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson and Dr. Bob Larson from Kansas State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. Dr. Larson is the Coleman Chair of Production Medicine and part of the Department of Clinical Sciences here at the Veterinary College. And Bob, we're talking about AI and synchronization. We've been leading up to, why we do it, who the candidates are, make sure you have your facilities. We've decided it's what we're going to do.
Right.
So now we've got to synchronize those cows. So who's going to be involved? You know, what do I need to think about?
The good thing is really in almost any community in the United States, there's going to be some real good resources. One of the first people to go talk to is your veterinarian.
Sure.
They're familiar with the synchronization protocols and how we get that done. Also, most communities have a semen supplier or two in the area, and these guys are very knowledgeable as well. They provide information about synchronization protocols. They can provide you some real good guidance on which bulls to select, and I have found, you know, the resources to actually accomplish synchronization in AI are high quality and readily available.
You bet. So when we start thinking about, you know, synchronizing these animals, I mean, there's a lot of different programs out there.
There are, and there's been a lot of work done by reproductive physiologists and veterinarians, and I'm really pretty happy with quite a few different synchronization protocols. Some of them are relatively short. You can accomplish the synchronization in 7 days, and some of them are longer, more like a month, and each have their advantages and disadvantages. And that's why working with your local veterinarian and the semen supplier is a great way. When you talk about, you know, what you have for facilities and how you want this to accomplish, they can find a synchronization protocol that will work pretty well for you.
And it'll probably have to do with your facilities, how you're set up, you know, the expertise that you have on the facility.
Yes.
You know, who's going to be doing the AI?
For the most part, again, in my experience, the semen suppliers oftentimes have technicians that can do the AI, or veterinary clinics a lot of times have a technician that can do the AI. And so that is something that you can relatively easily outsource to, again, people that are in the community, and in most parts of the country, you're going to be able to find someone that has those skills. And I highly recommend that versus trying to learn to AI yourself. If you're going to AI a lot of cows, I think it's great to learn yourself. But in general, I like to outsource that to the guys that do it every day.
Yep, and if you were wanting to learn, there are AI courses across the United States.
There are.
And some here at K-State even.
You betcha. And so, you know, for some people, that's the best option, is to learn to do AI themselves. And there are a lot of courses that they can learn to do that.
Sure. Anything else on syncing up the herd? Or?
One of the things that we often is not every cow maybe should be synchronized in AI. So when I look at mature cows, one of the things I think about is, do you want to try to synchronize the entire cow herd, or maybe just the ones that calve early? In my experience, those cows that calve in the first 30 to 40 days are going to be the best candidates. And in a lot of herds, that's kind of a subgroup, and usually that's a majority of the herd. But they will identify that group of cows that they want to synchronize in AI. Sometimes that's when they calved. Sometimes that's geographic location. We can do it in this pasture, but not in this pasture. Right. So we're going to utilize synchronization and AI in part of the cows and not the others. And those are all good reasons, but a thought process that you need to think about. And so with those cows, I like the early calving cows are my favorite cows to synchronize.
Awesome. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more with Dr. Larson on synchronizing and AI in cows and heifers in your herd. You're watching DocTalk. Thanks for joining us.
Did you know long-range planning through the checkoff can help keep your business profitable? To successfully pass on cattle operations from one generation to the next, it's important to promote beef and keep farms and ranches profitable. Your Beef Checkoff helps do that.
I'm Will Townsend. I'm part of Townsend Ranch. It's a ranch my grandparents started. They actually raised their family and started growing their cow herd right here. I would be the third generation on the ranch, and daughter and expecting a son would be the fourth generation on the ranch. The Beef Checkoff has done a lot of things for the beef industry. The biggest thing, when you look at it from a 30,000-foot view, is that it's brought a lot of different segments together to promote beef. And I don't think that is done easily. I think that's a very big feat.
And when the checkoff dollar is collected, the money is spent for educational purposes. A lot of them are national programs, and the state takes the national programs and runs with them. So not only do our own local producers benefit from that, but nationally.
Yes, I really like the research and development aspect of the Beef Checkoff. Adding value and development of new products, new beef cuts, things like the flat iron steak. That's a huge deal again, that with a segmented industry probably wouldn't have been done without the beef checkoff. And then both domestic and foreign marketing is something that really probably wouldn't be done by different segments of the industry without them all coming together. Again, that probably wouldn't have been done without the beef checkoff.
And I don't know who would promote our product if we who are raising it don't promote it ourselves.
Broadband has become as important to us as highways. That is why DocTalk is teaming up with NTCA, the Rural Broadband Association, and rural broadband companies like Blue Valley Telecommunications in fighting for quality broadband access through the program Smart Rural Communities.
I don't think we have any idea what's coming in the future. I couldn't have imagined 5 years ago what we're doing today. So in 2 years, I would guess there's things we can't imagine that we're going to be doing.
To learn more, visit ntca.org/smart or bluevalley.net.
Still using ineffective fly tags on your cattle? It's time to eliminate fleas, ticks, flies, lice, and parasites, and at the same time, give them a shiny coat, making them more valuable. One fly tag can cost $2.50, but you can do this all for about a nickel a head. Introducing the Cow Sprayer, designed and built in the U.S. The Cow Sprayer is portable, solar-powered, and comes with a 25 or 40-gallon tank. Eliminate parasites for about 5 cents a head with the Cow Sprayer. Cowsprayer.com.
It's easy to spot the man who uses Synanthic. With lower volume and less waste, Synanthic steps up your deworming routine. Get more deworming with less dewormer at Synanthic.com.
Beringer Ingelheim Vetmedica Inc. knows the importance of beef quality assurance and asks you to step up and get certified. Go to bqa.org for details.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hey folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with the Coleman Chair of Production Medicine, Dr. Bob Larson at Kansas State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. And we're talking about AI and synchronization, something that is a foundation of a lot of people's herds.
Yeah.
And so let's, we talked about selecting the cows and the early calvers, but there's, maybe some repro track scoring and things we need to do on these heifers too.
There's some really neat things we can do with heifers. Again, a lot of times the question that I'm asked to answer is this group of heifers ready to be synchronized? Have they reached puberty? Are they fertile? Are they ready to be bred? And I am going to invest some money in this synchronization protocol and this semen that's from proven sires. So I want to make sure that I've got a pretty good chance of being successful with the pregnancies. So over the last couple of decades, there's been some really nice work about how we can evaluate heifers to make sure that they're ready for the breeding season. There's some things that we know that body weight and size impacts a lot of the information as far as have they reached puberty or not. So even just a body weight is a good place to start. The other thing we know is that if we put a sleeve on and go in there and palpate the reproductive tract, we can tell if the heifer's mature and cycling already or nearly cycling. And I really recommend that, particularly with these heifers that we haven't had a lot of experience with, or a group of heifers. I really like to find out where they are. Now, the timing of that examination can vary. For some producers, we like to do it about 6 weeks before they want to breed. That way, if those heifers are really not quite where we want them to be, not a high enough percentage of them have already started cycling, we can increase their nutrition, because a little bit of nutritional flush will put some weight on them and get some more of them to cycle. So for some groups, I like to do my evaluation about 6 weeks out. There's other times, though, that for some herds, they know they're not going to synchronize all the heifers. And so we'll do the evaluation right before we start the synchronization program. So 7 to 10 days before they want to AI, we'll do an evaluation, and then we really only synchronize those that are already cycling or really close to cycling. And so it allows you to kind of optimize those expenses of the synchronization and AI so that you pick those heifers that are most likely to really be successful.
Well, the size and the body weight and the nutrition during the winter and getting those heifers in condition.
All of that's important to make sure they're going to be where we want them to be maturity-wise.
Yeah, water, nutrition, animal husbandry, all that. We always lean on. We worry about breeding when it's that time of the year, and
Right.
we really need to worry about it year-round.
That's exactly right. This reproduction is complicated. We spend a lot of time teaching the students about it, and they know it's complicated. But basically, good management from birth all the way through that first breeding season is really important.
Well, thanks for being on the show today.
You betcha. It's good to be here.
It's always good to have Dr. Bob Larson, and Dr. Larson, I agree. Always work with your local practitioner. And if you want to know more about what Dr. Larson and I do here at K-State, you can find us on the web at www.vet.ksu.edu. Thanks for watching Doc Talk today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson, and I'll see you down the road. Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
For more information about this program or previous programs, go to DocTalkTV.com. Doc Talk was brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.